Hi guys, I'm going to do a video today regarding how you use the mass function to actually do equations. So the first thing you'll need to do is you'll need to go insert to the insert menu, come over to objects, and if you come down to equation editor 3.0, so you get this sort of icon coming up. So this is where your equation is going to appear. So the main thing that most people want to use is things like fractions. So if I want to put in a fraction, I can go say f bracket x, so f bracket x, so you just type in using your keyboard, equals, and then if I want to put a fraction now, come over to here. These are the options I have, alright, so so I want to put in a fraction, I can have those sort of displays. So the most common one would be that. I could do x, and then if I want to make that a power, I have to click on this is my power button. So this is the main one that you'll use. So therefore that's going to be to the power of 2. On the bottom line I might want to put in a square root. So if I put in a square root, I can do square root of x plus 3. Right, so once I've now got that particular function, and I'll just make it a little bit bigger for you. So if I can click on that, then I can copy that, and then I can paste that as anywhere I like. Okay, so the good thing about this function is if you have a lot of repetitive type stuff you can do, then you can cut and paste it, and then all I have to do is click in here, and then all I need to do is I can change that function. So let's say I want to make that to the power of 4, and then when I add something else onto there, I can go take 3. Now I might want to put a cube root in there, so cube root, so that might be 3, and it might be the power of 5, and that might be x to the power of 7 inside there. Now I can also go back here. Now one thing I'd probably put is do a dot for timesing. So now you've got a quite complex function in there that you can keep adding and sort of taking away from. The other thing you might want to do for this investigation, you might want to include things like, well, let's copy that, paste it. Alright, so you might want to include things like the first derivative and all that sort of stuff. So if you come over to here, these are my first derivatives. So if I click there, I can click on my first derivative, which will give me that one. That's f dashed. Copy. And come down again. Right. And so therefore, with this thing here again, you can basically do your second derivative. I'll put it in the wrong spot. So again, like, it's a very easy program to use. So that's where I want to do my first derivative. Go back. Insert my first derivative, second derivative, right, for that function there. Now the good thing about this particular program, alright, so let's just start a new one just to revise that concept. Let's put in a function. I have to go insert, object, equation. So let's do a function b bracket x equals, now it won't let you put spaces in there, so you need to be aware of that. So let's do x to the power of 4 plus 2x cubed. So I'm going to use that power, and that's quite a useful one that we need there. Plus, let's do a fraction here. Let's do 3 over x squared. Again, power there, squared. Alright, so that's my function. Now, what you can do is you can keep going along here. So you can say b bracket x equals. Now, rather than retyping the whole thing, I can copy that like you would in any Word document, and then I can paste that down here, and then what I can do is I can edit this bit here. So I can just delete that, and then I can make that 3 x to the minus 2, so x to the power of minus 2. Right, so and then again, now I can copy this whole thing again. Actually, I don't need to do that. I'm going to do b, first derivative, x, and that's then equal to, now I can retype this so it's going to be 4 x to the power of 3 plus, then I could do that next bit of 6x squared, and then I can do take 6x to the power of minus 3 right, and then if I wanted to I could copy the whole thing again, copy, paste that again, and then for this bit here I can make that a fraction. So put my, just cut that part of it, put that on the bottom, and get rid of the minus. Alright, so you hopefully get the idea that it's like any document. Now, the good thing about that now is if I copy that, let's say I have another function which is very similar, rather than doing the whole thing by scratch, I can just come in here, double click in here, and then I can say, well, that function wasn't to the power of 4, but it was actually 4x to the power of, pick up the top there, delete, power of 3. And then I can just change those things. So it's a really quick way of doing it. It does look very professional. That's the other thing about using it. So it just makes it easier for you to see what you're doing. And I highly recommend you using this program for your investigation. If you need some help with that, make sure you catch up with me.